I'm here with Dr. Spivey, the artist, the creator of Writing Express, and happy 80th birthday. This is your life. So, what is it that you wish to accomplish through your art and your technique and how you bring it into the world?
I'm hoping the world understands that I am an effect-led artist. Whatever the effect. There are many. For example, what started my artist career at all as an adult, I saw wet paper and watercolor, and the watercolor hit the wet paper and exploded. It changed my life. That effect, I could see a forest. Oh, I could put a tree where this explosion happened. Oh, a stream can go here. And it's been happening ever since.
Do you want to touch on some of your pieces here and just talk about the process? Like this one over here?
One effect was the wet on wet watercolor that I described. This is another one. I just found out that I use the same implements as modern artists. I am not a modern artist, but they don't know where they're going in the beginning. They are excited about trying something new. Then, guess what? I discovered you could take paint and put in a cup, one on top of another, on top of another. They call it a pouring. And I said, well, let's try it. And look at this. I got effects that I couldn't paint in a million years. I said, look at this tree. And so I started joining things that effect led the painting. If I hadn't seen that in modern art, I would never have tried that particular effect. The same kind of thing happened in this stained glass kind of painting of a picture. I poured paints of different color on the canvas. It exploded, and this part I couldn't paint, but it led me to say, I see a picture. Oh, look at that. There were stained glass suggestions in some of the markings. So I take whatever is on the canvas, and then I go from there. Where does it lead? And I know some basic kind of landscape layouts. For example, an S.
You have some here.
We have, for example, let's just take it as they go. Here we start with a weave that often happens in the landscape. Sometimes is another one where we have more of the weave of an S. Things happen along that, the eye follows along this, so you put the action along this side. I didn't discover that till very recently. You learn by doing. You learn by doing, and I've learned a lot just by painting. And people ask, well, why do you paint trees? And I say, I don't paint trees. I use trees to create beauty in nature.
So this tree over here.
In this tree, I think the beauty is in the contrast, the intense color against the dark, the flow of the water. I didn't paint that tree, I created that tree. So I call myself a creationist as opposed to a realist or an impressionist a realist would try to get every little leaf. An impressionist would just leave an impression that that's a tree. Excuse me, there was texture to begin with here. This texture led me to say, oh, subordinate that, bring this out, put a light and a dark. So I kept dancing with this tree until it felt complete. I many times crossed out and added color, subtracted color. The subtracting of color I would call carving. So I'm carving out something. I might have to add color, that's painting. That's my process of taking what is on the canvas first. All of these texture marks, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, all over the place. Those were dried paints from a previous painting. And those suggested to go this way. And I knew to lead back into the painting, and I knew contrast, but basically I liked the flow of the painting. So that's basically my process. Primarily, I take the same size painting and I put my paints on the canvas or on the paper or whatever and mix them up. It doesn't matter the color that underneath, that's the undercoating. I can color over them, carve out things, leave things, whatever I want to do. That's the excitement of painting from spirit. You follow your hunches, your experiences, and you go on to new heights. It may be the same scene over and over again, but it's never the same. It's always a new walk into adventure land, a new walk into nature. It could be a flower, it could be the seascape, it could be a landscape of any season, but I'm very seldom get something and copy it like a bird or like a bell or something like that. Some things require a different structure. Some that I've attempted, a house, perhaps a lighthouse, but mainly I create nature, and so I'm a creationist.